So here today we are going to discuss about kernel space and user space. What is the difference between this kernel space and user space? And while we are discussing about the different types of the kernel, how these spaces are used. Okay. Here, whatever the application and the services you are using regarding the operating system, they can be broadly classified into user applications and kernel applications, right? And the memory space, we need to allocate some memory or the free space for these applications, right? Whether it is the user application or kernel application, some memory space need to be allocated for that. So whatever the space that is allocated for the user applications is called as user space, and the space in the memory space or the free space which you are allocating for the kernel application is called as kernel space. So there are two types of applications are possible or services are possible regarding the operating system, that is user applications and kernel applications. And whatever the memory space that is allocated for the user applications is called as user space, and whatever the memory space or the free space you are allocating for the execution of the kernel applications, right? So that space is called as kernel space. Did you find the difference between the kernel space and user space, students? Next, what are the different types of kernels are available, and what is the difference between these two types of kernels? Okay, we already know that kernel is the core of the operating system. Whatever the operations or the responsibilities handled by the operating system are indeed taken by the kernel. Whatever the operations that are performed by the operating system are without any doubt they are performed by the kernel of that operating system. And we discussed about the different types of the responsibilities handled by the kernel of the general purpose operating system. And we are also going to discuss about the responsibilities associated with the real-time operating system of the kernel. When we are going to discuss about the different types of the operating system, there we are going to discuss about the different responsibilities of the kernel belonging to real-time operating system. Based on the kernel design, they can be classified into two types, students: monolithic kernel and microkernel. What are the two types of kernels?
Monolithic kernel, microkernel.
Yes, monolithic kernel and microkernel. Based on the kernel designs, these two are classified. And in the case of monolithic kernel, as the name itself indicates, mono means one, single, yes or no? So in the monolithic kernel architecture, all the kernel applications, execution of all the kernel applications, all the services handled by the kernel are executed in the kernel space. Just now we discussed about what is user space and what is kernel space, right? So the memory space which is allocated for the kernel execution to execute the kernel applications, we allocate some memory space. That space is called as kernel space. And whatever the services belonging to the kernel of the real-time operating system, either real-time operating system or general purpose operating system, if you are executing that all the applications belonging to the kernel in the kernel space, if you are using only the kernel space, if you are not using the user space and all the applications what you want to run, if you are executing all the applications in the kernel space, that type of kernel is called as monolithic kernel. As the name itself indicates, it will use only one space. That space is called as kernel space. Here, all the kernel modules run within the same memory space under the single kernel thread. Here we are not using the kernel space, we are only using the space which is allocated to execute the kernel application. And what may be the drawback of this type of kernel? No, since we are using only the single space, that is the kernel space, to execute all the kernel modules, if there is any failure occur or if there is any error occur during the execution of any one module, it will collapse or it will crash the entire kernel application. Okay, why? Because you are only using the single space for all the execution of execution of all the kernel modules, right? So if in any module, if any error occur or any failures occur in any one of the module, it will crash the entire kernel application. It will crash the entire application of the kernel. It is one of the major drawback regarding the monolithic kernel. What may be the examples of this monolithic kernel? No, Linux, Solaris, MS-DOS. These are all the examples we can consider for the monolithic kernel. And second type of the kernel is microkernel. Here you can see this is the diagram belonging to the monolithic kernel. Here, whatever the applications you want to execute or whatever the applications you want to run, all the applications belonging to the kernel modules will be executed in the single space. We are not using the user space here. You can only see the kernel space. Okay, monolithic kernel within all the operating system services running in a kernel space. Okay. And second type of the kernel is microkernel. In this type, the difference, how it is different from the monolithic, and what may be the advantage and the disadvantage of the monolithic, how it is overcoming in the microkernel, we'll see now. The microkernel design incorporates only the essential set of the operating system services into the kernel. Here are whatever the services performed by the operating system or the kernel of the operating system are mainly divided into two types. One is the essential services, non-essential services. So they are giving some priorities among the services handled by the kernel, essential services and non-essential services. If the kernel want to execute essential services, that will be that module, or the particular modules will be executed in the kernel space. And non-essential services, non-essential services, something like interrupt handling, a timer management, memory management, process management, timer management, IO device management. These are all comes under the essential services of the kernel. And non-essential services, if you want to execute, if the operating system want to execute the non-essential services, the kernel will use this user space. If kernel of the operating system want to execute the essential services, it will use the kernel space. So here, these operating system is using both the user space and kernel space. Whereas in the case of monolithic, only kernel space is used to execute or to run all the modules of the kernel. So what may be the disadvantage happening in the case of monolithic kernel? What is the disadvantage, students? In the case of monolithic, if there is any failure occur or any error occur during the execution of any module of the kernel, it will crash the entire kernel application because it is executing all the kernel modules in a single space, single memory space. Whereas in the case of microkernel, it is using both kernel space and user space to execute the essential services like time management, process management, memory management. It is using the microkernels. To execute the non-essential kernel services, it is using the user space. So microkernel is using both user space and kernel space. User space is a memory space allocated to execute the user applications, and non-essential applications in the case of microkernel. And kernel space is the memory space or the free space allocated to execute the kernel applications. In the case of monolithic kernel, only kernel space is used to execute all the services handled by the kernel, to execute all the services handled by the kernel, or to execute or to run all the modules belonging to the kernel. Did you find the difference between monolithic and microkernel, students? Respond now.
మ్యామ్ మీ మైక్ మ్యూట్ అయిపోయింది మ్యామ్.
You're on mute, ma'am.
Can you able to hear now? Hello?
మ్యామ్
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here we are going to discuss about the what are the different types of operating system. We discussed what is operating system on the basis of why we are discussing the basics of the operating system. What is operating system? How we can define the operating system, and something like it is a bridge between the user applications and the hardware. You can also say that it's a bridge between the software and the hardware of any system, right? And architecture of this operating system. What are the different parts like a kernel of this operating system, right? We discussed, and what are the major responsibilities of the operating system, whatever the work that is handled by the operating system, that is in turn handled by the kernel of that operating system, right? Until now we discussed about that, and what different memory spaces regarding the kernel and different types of the kernel with examples we discussed. And we also discussed the differences between the two types of the kernel, that is monolithic kernel and microkernel. Now we are going to discuss about what are the different types of the operating systems. What are the different types of operating systems are possible, and what is the difference between these two types of the operating systems? With examples we are going to discuss them. Okay, so here we can see two different types of operating systems like general purpose operating system and real-time operating system. About these operating system we discussed in the first unit, but while we are discussing about the differences between the general purpose computing system and embedded system, right? In the general purpose computing system, what is the hardware or what is the operating system used in the case of general purpose computing system? General purpose operating system is used there. In the case of embedded system, real-time operating system or embedded operating system is used to meet the embedded real-time operations or to meet the response within the time. Why? Because we might use these embedded systems in the defense applications or aircraft application. When you are using the embedded system, the response should be in time. The response time is a very critical factor need to be considered. And see here, what is general purpose operating system? The operating system which is deployed in general computing system is referred as general purpose operating system. Whereas in the case of embedded system, these general purpose operating systems are not used. For example, consider the personal computer is the best example for the general purpose operating system. While you are typing some document, parallelly you can listen the music, or you can operate, you can do some, draw some, open the paint, and you can do some painting, right? So it can be used for general purpose applications. The general purpose operating system is used in the general purpose computing system. Best example is a personal computer, which is used for general applications, not only for a specific application or a unique application, right? Whereas in the case of embedded systems, if you consider, these general purpose operating systems are not at all suited for the embedded system. Why? Because one embedded system is designed for a specific or unique application, right? So if you are designed an embedded system for a defense application, that can't be used for a home appliances or electronic purposes or banking purposes or health monitoring, right? So if one embedded system is designed for a specific application or a specific domain, that can be used in that particular application or domain only. Next here, you can see the kernel of such operating system or the kernel of this general purpose operating system is more generalized, and it contains all kind of services required for executing the general applications, right? And that's what we discussed just now. There is a lot of difference between the generic application and unique application, which differentiates the general purpose computing system and embedded system. Okay, and the best example is, for example, you consider the washing machine. For what purpose the washing machine is used? Just for washing the clothes. But there is an example for the embedded system, right? And if you consider the air conditioner, that is only used for controlling the temperature, right? So whatever the embedded system that is designed for the air conditioning purposes or the temperature controlling purposes, if you use that embedded unit in the washing machine or microwave oven, is it used? Is it useful for that any other applications? We can't use it, right? So similarly, if you are using the general purpose operating system, that can be used for a generalized applications. But if you want to use the operating system for an embedded system, you have to use the particular specific operating system, right? Like embedded operating system or real-time operating system to meet the real-time operations. And one more nature of these general purpose operating systems are it's quite non-deterministic in behavior. Why? Because here response time is not critical factor if you consider the general purpose operating system. Whereas in the case of embedded operating system or real-time operating system, response time is one of the critical factor and response should be in time. Okay, so these services can be inject random delay into the application software or may cause slow responsiveness of the application at unexpected times. Personal computers, desktop systems is a typical example of a system where general purpose operating systems are deployed. So personal computer, if you consider, it is the best example for the general purpose operating system. Why? Because while you are using a personal computer for typing some document, while you are typing the document, you can listen the music, right? And you can also open one more window to do some painting, right? So you can do this personal computer is not only for a specific application, it is for generalized applications. Number of applications can be executed on a single system, right? So general purpose operating system is used in the personal computer. And next, some of the operating system examples like Windows XP, MS-DOS. These are all the examples for the general purpose operating system, which is used in the general purpose computing system like personal computers. So first you should know the difference between the general purpose computing system and the embedded system to better understand the difference between the general purpose operating system and the embedded operating system, or general purpose operating system and the real-time operating system. And next type of the operating system is the real-time operating system. Here, real-time implies deterministic time behavior. Deterministic time behavior in real-time operating system context means that operating system services consumes only known and expected amount of time. Right? It is predictable. Whereas in the case of general purpose operating system, the time is not predictable. Why? Because every service should be complete, should be scheduled. Every service is scheduled. Every service is synchronized. And within the deadline, the service should be completed. Otherwise, it will affect the entire application. Mainly, if you are using it for the defense application or aircraft application, if there is any nanosecond or millisecond delay in landing the aircrafts or aeroplanes, it will drastically causes a huge damage to the system or the application. The real-time operating system decides which application should run in what order and how much time needs to be allocated for each application. Everything should be in time. In the case of real-time, to meet the real-time applications, to meet the real-time operations, to meet the real-time requirements, everything should be completed in time. Right? So that's what real-time operating system decides which application should run in which order it has to be executed and how much time each operation should take and how much time need to be allocated for each operation. Everything need to be decided before starting the operation itself. Pre-decided everything. Here you can also see one of the nature or some of the examples and what are the different types of kernels are used in case of real time. Predictable performance is one of the hallmark of the well-designed real-time operating systems. And some of the examples of the real-time operating systems may be Windows CE, QNX, VxWorks, Micro C operating system 2, etc. are some of the examples of the real-time operating systems. And this real-time operating system may have three types. You can say real-time kernel it will use, hard real-time kernel. Also, these real-time kernel are subdivided into hard real-time kernel or soft real-time kernel, depending upon the application. Okay, so if the response should be reached within the deadlines, so that should be in the deadline means it comes under the hard real-time kernel. Okay, if there is any excuses occurred are acceptable, or exceptions are acceptable, if that type of kernels are called as soft real-time kernels. Okay, real-time operating system is also having the kernel. That kernel is called as real-time kernel, which is again basically divided into hard real-time kernel or soft real-time kernel. In the case of hard real-time kernel, the response is should be completed within the deadline. It is very, very critical factor in the case of hard real-time applications. Soft real-time means some of the delay is acceptable or exceptional are available or possible in the case of soft real-time operating system or kernel. Okay, students. So today we discussed about what is the difference, what are the different types of memory spaces are available in the case of operating system belonging to the operating system, like user space and kernel space. Whereas in the case of user space, the entire services or the applications handled by the kernel of the operating system are broadly classified into two types: user applications and kernel applications. And memory space need to be allocated for every application or for every service handled by the kernel space, actual kernel of the operating system. So whatever the memory space allocated for the execution of the user applications is called as user space, and the memory space and the free space allocated to execute or to run the kernel applications is called as kernel space. And there are two types of kernels are possible: monolithic kernel and microkernel. As the name itself indicates, in the case of monolithic kernel, all the kernel modules belonging to the operating system, all the services belonging to the operating system are executed in the kernel space. Whereas in the case of microkernel, the entire services handled by the kernel is divided into two types: essential services, non-essential services. Whereas in the case of essential services, To execute that, to run the essential services of the kernel, it will use the kernel space, and to execute the non-essential services of the kernel, it will use the user space. So there is a difference between the monolithic kernel and microkernel. And there are two types of operating system. We know that operating system is a bridge between the software system, software and hardware. And there are two types of operating systems are possible: general purpose operating system and real-time operating system. So before going to that, you should have the basic idea regarding the general purpose computing system and embedded system. Whereas in the case of general purpose computing system, which is used for generic applications. In the case of embedded system, one embedded system is only used for a specific application or unique application. So the operating system which is used for general purpose computing system is called as general purpose operating system. And the operating system which is used for embedded system to meet the real-time applications is called as real-time operating system. And we discuss some of the examples of the general purpose operating system and real-time operating system. And in the real-time operating system, the kernel which is used is having two types: hard real-time kernels and soft real-time kernels, depending upon the response time. If the response time is very critical and should be within the deadline, that type of kernel is called hard real-time kernels used. And if some delay is acceptable or exceptions are acceptable, that type of kernel is called as soft real-time kernels. So students, today till now we discussed about what is operating system, basics of the operating system and architecture of the operating system, core of the operating system, and responsibilities handled by the core of the operating system, and different types of the memory spaces available, and different types of the kernels with the differences, and different types of the operating system with examples we discussed. In the next class, we are going to discuss about the responsibilities of the different types of operating system, real-time operating system responsibilities, or the kernel of the real-time operating system responsibilities are going to be discussed in the next coming class.